Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe, and today we're going to be doing a one-shot review of the brand new Marvel Legends Venompool Build-A-Figure. And let's go ahead and get right into it because as you can see, we have Venompool completely assembled right here. And this is a nice looking figure. I love the sculpting work on him, and it's probably one of the best Build-A-Figures that we've ever seen from Hasbro. And the main reason why is because of how much attention to detail they put into the sculpt. There's a lot of good stuff going on. I love the texture to the red. I like all these staples that we see throughout the figure. I love the way the head looks. Everything about this figure just looks really badass. So I think they did a great job with the overall look of it. I like the size too. He's like massive. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not really a big fan of when they venomize random characters. You know, Deadpool's a popular character, Venom's a popular character. I guess it makes sense to mash them together, but it's not really something that I feel like I need in my collection. But once I started to see how this figure came together and when I started seeing other people's pictures, I was convinced like, man, I got to get this guy. But I really did not want to buy Venomized Miles Morales or Venomized, I think it was Gwen Stacy, I can't even remember because they called it like Spider Ghost or something. In any case, I really didn't want to have to buy those figures. I was almost willing to because of how good the Build-A-Figure looks, but then I'm like, well, I don't even really need the Build-A-Figure. It just looks cool. So I almost wasn't going to complete this guy. But then thankfully, Rosie Homemaker on Instagram reached out and offered to hook me up with the torso and I think one of the arms, which were the pieces that came with Miles and Spider-Gwen. So I didn't have to buy those, thankfully, because these figures that you see back here are the only ones in the wave that I was okay with buying. That would be Morbius, Carnage, and Venom. Phage, I really didn't want, but then my boy Artwitz Toys offered to sell him to me for a really good price. So, you know, I said, why not? And it turns out I'm pretty happy to have him because he's a nice figure, even though he's just a, you know, Bucky Cap body with a new arm and some other little added pieces like these blades on his leg and his forearms. He's still a pretty fun figure. And my boy Marvelous Nick, when I was about to do my interview with Hasbro, he was like, ask them if they did something new on the Bucky Cap body because that Phage figure is a lot of fun and it feels a little different. And now that I have it in hand, I see what he means. It does feel like it's a little bit more posable, and for whatever reason, I'm having more fun with this guy than I've had with previous characters on the Bucky Cap body. So I don't know what they did, but it's a fun figure, and I'm glad that I ended up with it, even though I don't have any of the other random symbiote characters like Lasher or Toxin or whoever else they put out. I'm not a big fan of just like random symbiotes. I like Venom, I like Carnage, but other than that, I don't know. It just seems like they tried to, like they went back to the well too many times for that whole idea, and it just kind of got boring. But anyways, back to this Venompool figure. Yeah, this is nice. I really, really like it. And he does come with a couple of accessories. Basically, he comes with a set of these huge katanas. I don't know how Deadpool's katanas grew, but, you know, they're big and crazy so that he looks cool holding them. As you can see here, he has no problem gripping onto it. And then he also comes with two sets of hands, and I have one of each on him right now. We've got the open hand, and then we have a grip hand so that he could hold on to the katanas. And these slide right into the sheaths in the back without any problem. And even the sheath and the pouches are sculpted really nicely. So yeah, they did a good job on this guy. Let's go ahead and do some quick size comparisons. We'll get some of these figures out of the way in the back there. Oops, there he goes. Come here, Phage. But here we have Venompool alongside Carnage and movie Venom. And yeah, as you can see, this guy is just massive. And these are probably my three favorite figures from this wave. I liked Morbius too, but I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. I mean, he's cool, and I needed a Morbius, so I'm happy to have it, but I don't know, he just wasn't as fun as these three figures back there. So there's a look at those guys all together. And then next up we have Venompool alongside Retro Spidey with a Spider Sense effect. And that effect came from Toying Around, so shout out to Toying Around. He does his unboxing, I think live on YouTube or sometimes live on Instagram, like every Thursday I believe it is. So be sure to check him out. He's an awesome guy. And then on the opposite side here, we have the Marvel Legends movie Deadpool. And then, we got to do this. We have Venompool alongside Marvel Legends Bucky Cat. Oops. And Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man. One-shot reviews are awesome because I get to punch my lights when I'm reaching for figures and accidentally hit my microphone and all kinds of goofy shit. But yeah, putting Venompool alongside some of these normal sized Marvel Legends figures really gives you a good idea of how massive he is. He's like freaking huge. I don't even know what I'm going to do with him, where I'm going to put him. I don't know anything about what I'm going to do with this figure as far as how he's going to fit into my collection. I guess I don't have a Deadpool shelf. I guess he would look cool if I had a Deadpool shelf. Might just have to put him with my Venoms. I do have a bunch of Venoms on a shelf, so that might work out. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Venompool next to some bigger characters. Let's back him up a little bit. So here we have Venompool alongside the Marvel Legends thing. Man, that's a beautiful figure. I haven't checked him out in a while. Man, I love that. And on this side, we'll go ahead and put the Marvel Legends Kingpin Build-A-Figure. And all three of these are... Dang, that's crazy, man. Like, Hasbro has come so far, haven't they? Like, there was a point in time where, like, I couldn't imagine getting any one of these type of figures from Hasbro. And now they're just killing it, you know? So, good stuff. And then last but not least, we have Venompool alongside the 80th Anniversary Hulk and the Marvel Legends Deluxe Venom. And yeah, look at that. He's right up there with these guys. He's a little bit bigger than the Deluxe Venom. Not quite as big as Hulk. But it's so nice to see that Hasbro is giving us big Build-A-Figures. It'd be cool if they went a little bit bigger. I mean, I don't want to sound greedy or anything, but, they still haven't, they haven't reached the heights of Giant Man or the Sentinel. I know they're coming out with their own Sentinel, but it's not a Build-A-Figure. So they haven't quite reached the heights that Toy Biz was able to reach, in terms of size when it comes to Build-A-Figures. And I know, Toy Biz is dead and gone and all that good stuff, whatever, but still, you can't deny greatness. And they did some great things in their day. And Hasbro is doing great things too, but I would just like to see them try to do like a big, huge Build-A-Figure, just like Giant Man or Apocalypse or Galactus or any of those, But I like that they've gone bigger, because in the past, I mean, they've gone tiny. We've gotten Rocket Raccoon and Hip Monkey and Jubilee as Build-A-Figures, and they went bigger and gave us like Ronan the Accuser. Actually, that might have been before. So they were kind of jumping all over the place in terms of size for their Build-A-Figures. But for a while, it seemed like we would never get big Build-A-Figures from them. But now, they've come around and they're doing it. And to be honest with you, they are absolutely killing it, because this thing is really, really dope. Let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation. So, let me get his big katana out of here real quick. He has a really tight grip on it too, so that's nice. There we go. So let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation on Venompool. So first off, his head is on a ball joint, so it does go up to about right there. Comes down to about right there. And then he does have a nice ab crunch, so he crunches forward a pretty good amount. It feels like it wants to go more, but then it pops up a little bit. But still, just that one click is still pretty good. And then he does have a waist swivel. And you could really get him into like nice little crouching poses. Little crouching poses, whatever that means. But yeah, you could get him into some nice crouching poses. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, he's got that waist swivel, as I mentioned. And then for the arms, he has these big ball jointed shoulders. They do go all the way around. You could bring them out to the side to about right there. If you try to bring him out to the side, just straight up like that, his shoulder does kind of collide up here. So if you bring his arm back, you're able to get a little bit more range. And as you can see, his arms come up pretty high. So that's nice. He could get his Zangief helicopter move on, right? Was it Zangief? I think it was. And then he has upper bicep swivel. He's got single jointed elbows. He's got a swivel at the wrist. And then he has a hinge. And on the sword gripping hands, he has the vertical hinge. And on the clawed hands, he has just your standard hinge that we see on most Marvel Legends figures. So that's cool. And then for the legs, they do come up to about right there. I've got them hunched forward, so it looks like it's actually going up a little bit higher. But just the leg by itself goes up to about right there. Comes out to the side to about right there. Doesn't really go back too much, but he does have upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee. There's no lower leg swivel, even though I feel like they maybe could have sculpted this down and hidden a lower leg swivel in there, but they decided not to. And by the way, his shackles, I think that's what they are loose pieces, so you can remove them if you want. Anyways, at the foot here, we've got rocking ankles. And then his feet could go forward to about right there. And then they could come up to right there. And yeah, that's about it for the articulation. For such a huge, massive figure, he's really posable. And he's a lot of fun to mess with. And he's just so bizarre looking, you know? Like his big upper body and small lower legs. He just looks crazy. So yeah, you could get him into some pretty cool poses. I would say that this guy's probably going to go down as like one of the best. I mean, for sure, one of the best Build-A-Figures of the year. And I kind of hate to say it because I love that Strong Guy Build-A-Figure, but honestly, I don't know if he's as good as this. Just in terms of like action figure quality. If I had to choose between the two figures, I would definitely go with Strong Guy because he's somebody that I've wanted in my collection for a long time. But if I'm just talking like which action figure is better, probably say this guy. This guy's ridiculous. So yeah, pretty good articulation for such a big dude. Let's go ahead and set him back again. Yeah, so overall, I'm really happy that I ended up with this figure, and you know, I almost didn't, which would have really, really sucked. So again, huge shout out to Artwits Toys for hooking me up on a good price for the Phage figure, and then huge shout out to Rosie Homemaker for hooking me up with the parts that I needed that I didn't want to buy. So I really do appreciate it, and thank you so much, because if not, I wouldn't have had this figure. And I'm stubborn when it comes to like buying figures just for the Build-A-Figure piece, you know? Like if 80% of the wave is good, I usually don't mind buying a couple whack figures to Build-A-Figure. But sometimes, like, I don't know, sometimes I'm just like, nope, I'm not doing it. So as a result, I've got a bunch of partially built Build-A-Figures that I'll probably never finish up. Like Ironmonger, Annihilus, Hobgoblin, Ultimate Green Goblin, just a bunch. The Lizard, I've got a bunch of pieces, and I'm just like, oh, I didn't want to buy that weird spider girl that I didn't know about, so I'm never going to have a complete lizard or whatever. But anyways, I'm glad that wasn't the case with this Venompool, and I'm really happy that I ended up completing him. And like I said, I think he's one of the best Build-A-Figures that Hasbro's ever done, and hopefully they continue to give us Build-A-Figures and just figures in general of this quality, because they really killed it. And with that, I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. And if you want to support the channel, feel free to buy like a t-shirt, an Odious head, an Unparalleled Universe hat. All that is available below. If you don't want any of that stuff, then it's all good. I appreciate that you watched the video. So thank you so much for doing that. Have a wonderful day. Peace.